She clutched her little boy's hand as security escorted them through the crowded office, while dozens of co-workers watched in silence. Her cardboard box held only a coffee mug, a faded family photo, and a few notebooks, but the weight in her heart felt heavier than anything she had ever carried. She had only wanted to keep her son safe for one afternoon after his school unexpectedly closed, yet that single decision had cost her everything. She believed the worst day of her life had arrived, but neither she nor anyone else knew that before the sun set, one unexpected sentence would change every life in that building forever. Before we continue, if you believe kindness and second chances can change someone's life, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment sharing where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the Love and Disney family for more emotional stories that remind us humanity still exists. Maris Quinn had spent every morning for the last 8 years waking before sunrise. She lived in a small apartment on the edge of the city with her 7-year-old son, Rowan, who had become her entire world after her husband passed away from a sudden illness 3 years earlier. Every dollar mattered. Every shift mattered. Every decision carried consequences. She worked as an administrative assistant at one of the city's fastest-growing technology companies, never arriving late, never missing deadlines, and always helping others even when nobody noticed. Her quiet determination earned respect from co-workers but never attracted attention from upper management. She was simply one of those dependable employees everyone relied on but rarely celebrated. That Monday began like every other bright spring morning until Rowan's elementary school called just after breakfast to announce an unexpected water pipe burst had forced the school to close immediately. Every childcare center she contacted was already full, every neighbor was at work, and every family member lived hundreds of miles away. Missing work meant losing desperately needed income. Leaving Rowan home alone was impossible. With tears threatening to appear, she made the only choice her heart could accept. She brought him with her, promising he would remain quiet while she finished the most important reports of the month. For several peaceful hours, Rowan colored pictures beside her desk and quietly read books borrowed from the office library. Some co-workers smiled warmly and offered him snacks while others whispered that children did not belong in a professional workplace. Maris ignored the uncomfortable looks because she believed she would finish her work before anyone important noticed. Unfortunately, the regional operations director unexpectedly arrived for an inspection that afternoon. His reputation for strict discipline was known throughout the company. The moment he spotted Rowan sitting beside his mother, his expression hardened with disappointment. Company policy clearly prohibited unauthorized visitors, especially children, in work areas. Without listening to Maris's explanation or considering the emergency circumstances, he announced that rules existed for everyone. Within minutes, human resources delivered termination paperwork. Years of loyalty disappeared in a conversation lasting less than 5 minutes. Maris signed the documents with trembling hands because arguing would only make the humiliation worse. Rowan looked up at his mother with frightened eyes, unable to understand why adults who had smiled at him all morning now avoided looking in their direction. As mother and son slowly walked toward the lobby, employees silently watched the heartbreaking scene unfold. Some wanted to speak but feared risking their own jobs. Others quietly lowered their heads, ashamed that compassion had disappeared so easily inside a company that proudly advertised family values. Outside the large glass windows, the afternoon sunlight continued shining brightly as if nothing tragic had happened, while inside, one hard-working mother wondered how she would pay next month's rent or buy groceries by the weekend. At that exact moment, several luxury vehicles stopped outside the entrance. The company's newly appointed chief executive officer had arrived for his first official visit after purchasing controlling ownership only weeks earlier. Employees quickly gathered to welcome him, expecting formal introductions and business speeches. Instead, the new leader noticed a crying child holding tightly onto his mother's hand while carrying a backpack almost as large as himself. Something about the little boy instantly captured his attention. The new CEO, Callum Mercer, quietly asked nearby managers what had happened. After hearing the explanation, he stood completely still. His eyes never left Rowan. Memories he had buried for decades suddenly rushed back with overwhelming clarity. He remembered another frightened little boy sitting beside his exhausted mother at a sewing factory because she had no one else to watch him. He remembered the whispers, the judgment, and the day his mother also lost her job simply for choosing her child over impossible circumstances. Without hesitation, Callum walked directly toward Maris and Rowan. Every conversation in the lobby stopped. Managers expected him to continue toward the conference room, but instead he stood before the devastated mother with tears quietly forming in his eyes. He gently looked at Rowan before speaking the words nobody expected to hear. He softly said that he was once that little boy. Silence filled the building. Even security guards froze where they stood. Callum explained that his own mother's dismissal had forced them into years of poverty, yet her endless love had inspired him never to stop believing in education, perseverance, and compassion. Every achievement in his life existed because one exhausted single mother had refused to abandon her child despite losing everything. Looking at Rowan felt like looking into a mirror reflecting his own painful childhood. Callum immediately requested Maris's termination papers. Without raising his voice, he calmly informed senior management that policies should protect people instead of punishing them during genuine emergencies. He announced that Maris's dismissal was cancelled effective immediately. Not only would she keep her position, but she would also receive a promotion to office operations coordinator because her years of dedication deserved recognition rather than punishment. Then he introduced a new family emergency policy allowing employees temporary childcare flexibility during verified unexpected situations. Many employees quietly wiped away tears as applause slowly spread throughout the lobby. Some remembered times they had hidden personal struggles out of fear. Others finally realized leadership was not measured by power but by empathy. Maris stood speechless, unable to believe that hope could return so quickly after feeling completely lost. Rowan smiled for the first time that afternoon, proudly holding his mother's hand while everyone around them celebrated. Over the following months, the company transformed. Employee satisfaction reached record levels. Staff turnover dropped dramatically because workers finally felt respected as human beings rather than numbers on spreadsheets. Inspired by his own childhood, Callum also created scholarships for children of single parents employed by the company. Maris helped organize these programs, making sure every struggling family received the support she had once desperately needed herself. Years later, Rowan often visited the office during school holidays. Instead of hiding in a corner, he was welcomed by smiling coworkers who remembered the extraordinary day that changed the company's future. The story became a reminder that one compassionate decision could create ripples lasting generations. Rowan eventually grew into a confident young man determined to help others, carrying forward the lesson that kindness shown during someone's darkest moment could become the light guiding an entire lifetime. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a heartfelt comment, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Love and Disney so more people can discover stories that restore faith in kindness and humanity. Special request: comment below with the words "Kindness always wins" if you believe every hard-working parent deserves understanding instead of judgment. As the office lights reflected the bright afternoon sky outside, Maris realized that the greatest miracles rarely arrive with loud celebrations. Sometimes they appear in the form of someone who remembers exactly how your pain feels because they once lived it themselves. Compassion had broken the cycle of hardship that day, proving that while rules may shape organizations, it is kindness that truly changes lives forever.